Hey guys, welcome to the Titanium Vault. I'm RJ Bates III, and today I'm interviewing Kendall Ficklin II. What's up, bro?
What's going on, man? Pleasure to be on here with you. Most definitely to the Go RJ.
Right? So, bro, I think this is like episode 228. You're the first person besides me to have a Roman numeral behind their name. So it's about time, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Right. So, yeah, man, why don't you let everybody know what it is that you do in real estate, how long you've been around, and what it is that you do?
Yeah, man. Well, I've been doing real estate. I started with my first coach in 2014. It was like December 2014. I did my first deal May 5th, 2015.
Okay.
I did my first deal, man. It was a crazy deal. I got the house for like 4,500, sold it for 15,000 while I'm in the barber shop cutting hair because I used to be a barber back in the day as well. I retired from the barber game in 2017. That's when I did my first six figures in real estate.
Nice.
So yeah, man. So ever since then, I just been wholesaling a lot. I've done a few flips here and there as well. Not really in love with the flips so much. I've done a couple right, a couple wrong, but overall, man, I just love real estate, man. Real estate changed my life, man. It really did. And, for me, coming from where we come from and the things that we were in, and being able to have the opportunity to be able to change everything just by flipping some paperwork as opposed to flipping other things, it was just amazing. And, for me, I've been doing this, since then. So now it's been 8-year anniversary in May. I've done, I had to count up the deals for the Close Olympics qualifier, like auditions or whatever. I just stopped at 250 and I was like 250 plus, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know how many, you know what I'm saying? But I've done a lot of deals, man. I actually probably just realized I talked to one of my guys the other day and I was just riding on the highway and there was this song that came on that said, a million's not enough. And I started thinking, and I had thought, and I was like, because my goal was always like, okay, I got to hit my first million in a 12-month span. Like, right. That's been something that has always been a goal of mine. And I was riding on the highway and I just started thinking, I was like, man, I did a million in like 19, 20 months, like 1.1. I'm like, I'm not that far off. That's not that bad. Like, I'm like, okay, like let's keep it going. And a goal of mine, man, is just get to multiple seven figures with the wholesaling, but then also get into more commercial things, build the rent, just kind of level up in the real estate game. But wholesaling is always going to be something that I do because it's just, it's
the foundation.
It's the foundation, man. Yeah, like
started.
Exactly.
So what's funny about that is we learned about real estate in August of 2014. We did our first deal at our seminar that we were learning. I was in Vegas, got the deal under contract. It was a deal off the MLS, sold it on Craigslist right there.
I sold my first one on Craigslist.
Yeah, I was walking in the lobby of what's the pyramid in Vegas? Luxor. That's where our education event was, and sold that deal right there. And so our timeline is pretty similar because we went full time 2015, but we already had our own business. Okay. And so the goal is we got to get into real estate because we were contractors and it was miserable. So
okay, so you guys were already in the business from that standpoint, and then said we need to start. We see these people get a lot of money doing these deals.
They were the ones getting hired by the investors, and I'm like, I think I'm on the wrong end of this game. Like I'm doing all this work, and like they own this property, and all they're doing is hiring me. Like I need to get into this. That's when we learned wholesaling, and just like you said, it was like, wait. I don't have to flip the house. I can just flip paper. No, that's way better.
Way better.
That's where we got stuck on it. So you went full time 2017.
Yep.
What does that look like? What are you cold calling? How are you getting deals? Because that's always people's biggest struggle is like, how do I get deals?
Yeah, when I first started, I was heavy in direct mail, yellow letters. I used to. So I literally. I had lost 70% of my monthly revenue, like 60 days after getting married. Like we got a kid, everything like that is going on. So I'm really not having no money, really. I actually negotiated a payment plan with my first mentor for $100 a month. Like and I had two guys, so both of them at $100 a month. I had to pick. It was so bad, I had to pick one because I couldn't pay for both for $200 a month. I was like, one of them was online and one was in the city. So I said, I'm going to pick the guy that's here with me. So
where are you based out of?
I'm in Atlanta.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm in Atlanta. I'm from New Jersey originally, but I live in Atlanta. I've been down here since I was like since 2000. So I'm basically from Atlanta. I've been here for like 20 years.
Are you doing deals in Atlanta, or are you doing it virtually in other places?
Yeah, man, we do deals all over, man. I'm doing most of my deals are done mostly in the Southeast, like Texas to the Carolinas, and like up underneath like Tennessee and stuff for the most part. But we've done deals in not Philadelphia. This place called Boca, Pennsylvania, like something crazy. I can't even say the name. It's ridiculous. Right. Like, but Vegas. We haven't done nothing in California, but I'm shooting for California though, because I just heard those spreads are just better. Right. But yeah, man, we do in multiple states. I'm pretty much virtual. But I mean, back then, man, our whole thing is virtual. So I run my whole team virtually. I don't have an office, even though I want to get one. But in 2017, well, even when I first started, I used to just handwrite my yellow letters, post office, stamp them. I'd be in the barbershop writing in between clients. At the end of the night, my wife would stamp them. She'll write the envelopes. I'll write the letters. And, we'll just drop them, man. And I got my first deal doing that. And then I just kept steady on direct mail until this was I remember like it was yesterday, fourth quarter of 2018. It was October. I spent $8,995 on a direct mail campaign. And usually every time before that, every 2,500 postcards landed me a deal. So I went and like, it was just consistent. So I was getting to a point where I was doing like maybe 2 or 3 deals a month, just consistently. And then I said, okay, well, let's double up our spend. So I went, put it all in there. And then I got one deal back and it was for $8,000. So I came up short from the $995, but once I saw that, I saw it was a shift happening in the market and people were talking about texting at this time, cold calling. So that just scared me. I said, I'm not direct mailing like that no more. And really ever since October 2018, I haven't direct mailed since. I started doing the cold calling and the texting. And really that was my bread and butter for a long time. I started off on the phones, hired some cold callers, kept about 2 or 3 once I got a little bit of money. And I just had them hitting the phones. But that's how I got the majority of my lead flow. And then outside of that, I did a lot of JVs because in my city and stuff like that, I also was coaching people. So when I was coaching people, once I made my first 6 figures, people start wanting to learn how to do it. So I'm like, okay. So I coaching them and I got deals like that as well. I used to split them 50-50 with the students and just teach them the game. So yeah, man, that was my main thing.
So with the texting, is that something that, because obviously I've been big into texting, I did the original 50 deals in 50 states in 50 days live on YouTube, and that was all texting. That was in 2020. Some people jokingly say I ruined texting because of that. Because so many people watch me. They were like, oh, I'm going to jump in here and I'm going to send out 10 to 15,000 texts a day, just like RJ's doing.
Yeah.
And now the regulations have come down. So is that something that's still a part of your arsenal, or have you kind of
we actually dialed back the SMS because the conversion just stopped. We used to get one deal to every 19,000 and some change text messages, like one deal closed. And that just started changing. And it got to a point where it's like, okay, we got to, not only are we texting it out, we were using Roar and we did a little bit of batch as well. But we had to stop using batch because we started sending out like 5,000 to 10,000 a day. And it was just too much for like just singular person. Right. So what we ended up doing was we just used Roar, blasted them out. But what happened is that we started seeing that we were sending out so many text messages, but deals were not coming in after we sent 35,000 messages. So it's like, well, the numbers have now been skewed because it no longer performs how it used to. So really, in the interest of just taking that money and putting it into what we know worked, that's really why I did it. I said, well, let's just take this 2,000-3,000 we're spending here, and let's just throw this and get another 1 or 2 cold callers, and then boom, we could just double down and get more deals that way. Because our cold calling efforts, like every caller is going to get us 1 to 2 deals a month once it kind of goes through that 45 to 60 day process of just building it up. You'll get 1 or 2, but once you go through those month and a half to 2 months of building it up, you can pretty much, get to 1 deal a month, at least per cold call that you can close.
So are you utilizing virtual assistants for cold calling?
Yeah, so I used to have them in house, but in house I used to have like 5 of them in house. I had like my assistant that would kind of bring them in. But the thing about the in house is that the production, it wavered so much. Like you would have 3 of them who would give you what they needed to, and it was almost like having 5 acquisition managers, because I was the type where I was like, okay, I got to train you guys. Like, we got to get on the phones. Let's train to do this. Let's talk. And I'm like, I'm doing all this training for cold callers. I'm like, man, this is a lot. So for me, we ended up outsourcing the cold calling, and the outsourcing was good after the first time I did it. But then lately, probably in the last 6 months, 6 to 8 months, I've kind of noticed some things about outsourcing that I don't really like. And like we would start to get leads that weren't even on the list. I'm like, the house is worth $700,000. I don't even pull lists with a house that's valued like that. Right. Why am I getting those leads? Right. So that became an issue for us. And I'm still outsourcing, but at this point, I'm actually leaning towards going more exclusively on the PPC side of things.
I got you. So on the cold calling, you've got the cold callers, they're sourcing the leads. Mm-hmm. Are they then transferring that to acquisitions managers, or how is the closing actually taking place?
So they weren't. So we tried to do live transfers, but it didn't work out because they couldn't make it happen with the outsourcing. But what we do is they just get the lead form, they'll submit it into our Podio, and then we have a rule where when a lead comes in, it has to be hit within the first 15 minutes. Like they get an email, you get a Podio notification, you get a Slack notification, and it's here. So unless you're on a call, you can't get off. I mean, you cannot go past the 15 minutes when it comes to get that lead. The problem I found was the longer the lead sits there, the harder it is for us to get them back on the phone.
Right.
And that was a major problem for us, because there would be good, what I thought was good leads based off the notes and the asking price, etc., that we couldn't get on the phone for a long time. So I like, well, how do we defeat this? Well, you got to call them as fast as possible. Right. So
I will say, right now, I'm doing a lot of, all of my leads are either PPC of some sort or cold call leads. Mm-hmm. And I will say that I do have a better answer rate on the cold call leads, even if it is a little bit more dated or seasoned, whatever, than say the PPC lead that comes in and doesn't answer on that day one. Man, it is brutal. The follow-up on those can be like, dude, I called you 17 times. Like today, I talked to a guy that I called 30 plus times, and he's like, oh, dude, I've been in escrow for the past 45 days. Then I'm like, bro, I've called you 30 plus times. Why didn't you just
text me back anything?
Right. But the cold call leads, it's funny because, I mean, they clearly answered the phone for our VAs calling. So they're more than likely going to answer the phone than, say, like a PPC that maybe just is window shopping. Like, I just wanted to see what you would offer me. Those are a little bit more difficult. So on your cold call, when you're getting the lead forms in, how often are you seeing that those are higher, more retail leads than, say, like the PPC leads, where you can actually see that they're like, hey, distressed property, need to sell quick? Are you seeing that the cold call leads, you deal with more people that are like, well, you called me, so yeah, I mean, if you give me full market value, I'll sell?
Honestly, that's damn near every cold call lead. Right. Most of them, they want the retail in the notes. I get them on the phone, and normally I ignore what they ask in the notes. I don't even mention it. So when I follow up, I say, hey, you talked to my guy, my girl, whatever. I see here you want to sell, it's vacant, tenant occupied. I never mentioned what they were asking. Right. Because honestly, it's irrelevant to me unless they were asking the price that I love. Right. So then I'll mention it. But other than that, what I am finding is, first off, the cold call leads, they do pick up. But you do have to, it's intense follow-up no matter what you do. Unless you, like, even texting sometimes, I found when you're texting and they stop and then you try to call them, it's hard to get them on the phone.
Oh,
so
yeah.
that's with every lead, pretty much, in my opinion, in real estate. But what I have found is that cold calling, even 2023, them leads still close.
Yeah.
Like they really do. I know PPC is a wave, and PPC is nice because they reached out to you, and you can always ask the question, well, what would you want for the property? And they can't say, well, you reached out to me.
Right.
Which is a key.
Listen, that's the best part about it.
The best part. Like the best part.
I mean,
it really is.
I say it all the time. I'm like, well, you came to me. I mean, I don't know. Like today, I probably said it 10 times where I was like, I don't know anything about your property. You just gave me an address. I mean, what's the condition like? I mean, what's your story? You gotta tell you. I literally tell people, you gotta sell me. Like,
yeah.
What is it? I don't know anything. I play completely dumb.
Exactly.
Whereas cold call, you can't do that.
You can't do it at all. Like no, because they anytime you try to exactly, I try to get around it by like so I'll anchor like I don't even call it anchoring. I'll just kind of hit them with the, well, you know, I see some stuff over here for, you know, 40, 50. Not saying that's what you would do, but, you know, right. I mean, I would love to be there if I had it my way, you know, like, right. You know, is that something you would do? No, I want to be at such as, oh, okay, now I get your price. Then we can go from there. Right. And that actually I found, I've been doing that for about 1.5 years now. It really works. Yeah. I say probably 70, 80% success rate. They're going to give you a price most times.
I love that. So I'm assuming back in 2017, 2018, you were on the phones a lot, right?
Oh yeah, banging them out. I didn't. I tried to build my team. Maybe 3-4 times, failed miserably each time. Right. Now some people would say, you know, the people around me, nah, it's a lesson. You good. Just be better next time. Right. But when you're in it, you're like, man, I failed miserably. Like I messed that up. Right. And because I'm the person,
what, bro, there's another part of that. Mm-hmm. It's social media makes you feel like you're failing a lot worse than you really are.
That's true.
I mean, bro, you could have a bad day and you get on, you know, Instagram and all you're seeing is fuck, bro. Everybody out there is just killing the game. Like, why do I suck so bad?
Man, listen, let me tell you something so true. I've never been the person who cared what anybody thought ever. Like I'm always in my own zone. I'm doing my own thing. Y'all do what y'all do. I'm doing what I do. Straight against the grain. One day I'm on Instagram and I'm scrolling through and I just find myself feeling a type of way because I'm not hating, like y'all doing your thing, but I'm also looking at me.
Yeah.
And I've never done it before. And I used to wonder, why do people get caught up and let that like affect them? That was the first time I realized it was a real thing when people actually feel some type of way. Because if I can feel like this by looking at it and you really care about what people think, oh man, you're probably dying inside for that. Like, and from there, I had to really realize I got off social media for a long time. I'm not even really a social media guy. I'll post for like a month and then go away for 3-4 months. Like, I just don't care. Like, I don't know why. I just, my wife love it. I just can't really care about it that much. But at the same time, it is a real thing. And, you know, realizing the things that I messed up, I always was able to take what I messed up and then apply it to the next situation. But what I had to understand as well, that no matter how many heights that you go up, there's always something new to learn. And if it's something new to learn, it's something new to mess up so that you can learn it at the end of the day. So, I mean, I did that, man. I went to the Momentum with Carlos and then went to that event, soaked up so much game. And from that event was the first time I actually was able to put together a solid foundation of a team. And that one I did I think that was it had to be before, was it during COVID? It had to be before. I don't think nobody wore a mask there. This might've been 2019 Momentum. Yeah, it's July 2019 Momentum. I went there, learned a ton of game and brought it all back. And from there, I was able to create a real foundation of a team, hire the right way. But even then, you start learning about, man, you didn't get your guys to sign NDAs or did you SOP for this, SOP for that? Like, well, what's your training? I'm like, yo, this is crazy. Like, you know, but I think at this point right now, I think I've learned a lot as far as building a business, because I've always been hustling my whole life since I was 11. But business and hustling, two different things.
Oh, yes. Absolutely.
Completely.
So today, how often are you actually on the phone closing? Is that still part of your day to day?
Well, right now it is because I'm getting ready for y'all. Right now it's a day-to-day thing, right? So I'm on there. But then also, not only just that, I'm on the phones more now because the market is a little bit harder. Like things is going on. Like if I want to keep revenue up, I need to get on these phones, and so I can get another superstar actually on the phones within the company that can convert like I can convert. Because for a long time, I think I got what you would call it. I don't know if I wouldn't say lazy. I would say more complacent.
Yeah.
I think I got people in place. They let them do that. And everybody's telling me, man, you the boss, you the CEO. That task is not that's not a task you should be doing. And so I got to a point where, I would fall back from certain things. And I think that it was too early for me to fall back from certain things, regardless of what the people around me were saying, because you guys aren't in the mud with me. Y'all don't understand the business the way I understand it. Right. So I had to get back in it, because when I'm talking to a seller, I feel like I can close any seller that wants to sell. I feel like I can close, right? As long as the price makes sense, right? If I want it, I think I can close it. But on my team, you might have a guy who needs 50 cold call leads for a contract. You know what I'm saying? But for me, I might only need 15, 20 just depends, right? It's cut in half. So I got on there, not only that, but to also show people, like when I'm on the phones, the energy in the company is different, right? It's like, oh no, he's out here with us. He's on the phones with us. People just feel different. So I'm really it's too early for me right now, in my opinion. No matter how much money I've made, how many deals I've done, it's too premature, in my opinion, for me to fall back to pure CEO status. It's not time for that for me right now.
Listen, bro, you're talking to the guy that's online live 8 hours a day,
yes,
doing nothing but acquisitions. So you're preaching to the choir right now. I mean, I feel like these are unprecedented and unknown times, because what we experienced in November and December of 2022 with the interest rates going up,
crazy,
and real estate market essentially just stopping.
Yep.
What we had to learn is, hey, we need to be prepared. We need to have our thumb on the pulse at all times. How can you do that if you're not talking to buyers and sellers?
Exactly.
You can't do it. And I said this the other day on a Pardon the Disruption. I said, too many people want to be the next Carlos Reyes.
Yes.
Like, I love Carlos. He's my boy. As much as I talk shit about what happened in the 2020 closers limit, listen, me and Carlos, we go back to 2016. Carlos and me and Cassie had lunch with Carlos, Sal, and Alex when they were trying to get their feet wet and understand, how do you do virtual wholesaling? They took us to lunch to ask us questions how we were doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how far back we go. And I look at it, and I look at the growth that Carlos has had as a CEO. That is rare, okay?
Yeah.
And there's a lot of struggles that he's had to go through to get to that point. And it's so easy. I got the book back here. It's one of them. It's called Traction. I love the book.
But
I give it a hard time sometimes, because I'm like, listen, every business owner went out and bought a copy of Traction and said, I'm a visionary, so that means I don't have to work now. I'm going to go hire me an integrator that'll do
exactly.
And it's like, that's not the case. And to your point, the morale boost to the team by being in the trenches with them, and they see you grinding it out with them, it builds up the momentum that you can have, and the compound effect of the lead follow-up and everything. It makes a huge difference.
It does. And I mean, as much of I've always been, before the term visionary was out, I've been a visionary. Like that's my thing. But you know what I do love? I love the trenches. I love operating at the same time. No matter what it is, I still love the game.
Here's what's going to happen, bro. And it's already happening right now. To be in real estate, you have to love real estate on some degree.
Yes.
Whether that's, I love helping the sellers, I love providing great deals to buyers, I love running the numbers, whatever it is, you have to find that. Whereas back in 2018, 2019, you could have just loved the money.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm going to deal. I don't even have to run numbers. I'm just flipping it straight to the hedge fund, and I walk away with 20 grand. Like, let's go, baby. More.
Easy.
That's not the case anymore.
Yep.
It's not going to be the case for a while moving forward, because I just, there's reports going out that the market's stabilizing, maybe even going to appreciate. I think they said 3.5% over the next 3 years. That's okay. We're still just not, I don't think we're ever going to get back to where we were in 2018, 2019 anytime soon.
It's going to be a while.
Right.
Yeah.
And so now what you're going to see is the ones that are truly meant to do this and want to do this are going to be the ones that succeed moving forward.
And not only that, not to cut you off, but me and my father had a conversation the other day, and at the end of the day, man, I need to win. I need to win. Like, this is not a we was talking and we was like, man, it's crazy out here. We shifting, got to move around, but we both asked each other, what else we gonna do?
Right.
Like, I mean, really, like, what else am I going to do where I'm going to go get 10, 15, 20, 30, 40, $50,000 checks where I'm going to do? I mean, it's just, I don't know.
Listen, bro, me and Cassie had the conversation in December when everything was going bad. I mean, I'm talking about buyers flat out said, I'm not buying right now.
Exactly.
And it was like, dude, this is a smoking deal. And they're like, I don't think you're hearing me. I don't care if it's free. I'm not buying. And it's like, okay, this is new.
Yeah.
Never been told this because, we're still kind of babies.
Yeah.
I love this about the wholesaling industry. You can be in it a couple of years and suddenly you're the greatest, Bro, we ain't gone through shit yet, okay?
Nothing.
We've been in this for 8 years, all right?
Exactly. We've been in it on the up.
Right. It was a damn good 8 years for us to be in it, okay? So I'm like, all right, so this is new. And what I told Cassie is I said, we want to dig ourselves out of this. It's going to be through wholesaling. It's not going to be flipping. It's not going to be rentals. It's not going to be seller finance. It's not going to be education, okay? What is our core business? It's wholesaling. We've got to get back to the roots and focus on that. Just like you said to your dad, what else am I going to do? How can I go make $30,000 like that?
Wholesale.
You can do it there. You need it. You can make it happen through wholesale.
Exactly.
So, all right. I want to talk about what we got down there on the title, Closers Olympics Qualifier. So
yes, sir.
We're coming up here on a couple weeks where you're gonna get to compete. now, I gotta talk about this because they made you qualify, okay?
Yeah.
So let's talk about your experience there. I know Cassie was a judge. I was supposed to be a judge that day.
I know you. Yeah, you were supposed to be there. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was supposed to be a judge, but I went out of town with my son. We flew up to Boston. So I was watching it as I landed on my cell phone and I walk around the Boston airport and whatnot. He got so mad at me because I made him listen to y'all our whole drive from the Boston airport to our hotel. Now, what was that experience like for you?
Man, so you know what? It was amazing experience just to be in the what's the word I'm looking for in the energy and the environment with all of you, right? Because I mean, Elijah's my guy. Elijah been my guy since 20 when I first was starting before I created my first LLC. I had a call with Elijah and I asked him, I said, yo, what's going to be the hardest thing about this game? And he told me, he said, Kendall, you already a beast. You've been in business your whole life. The hardest part is going to be figuring out how to do this business while having this huge family that you have to take care of at your age and with all the responsibilities.
Right.
If you can figure that out, you'll be good. So Elijah has introduced me to a lot of people, and just being able to see you guys and know the successes that you all have had and know that the grind that y'all put in, just being associated in the building is good enough for me. Right. So that's a blessing. First off, doing the calling itself, it really, man, I've been in high pressure situations my whole life. It wasn't a big deal. Like honestly, I didn't even look at the clock. I turned it off. I didn't even care because in my mind, I'm like, I know that call was about 10, 15. I got some time. I didn't even look at the clock until I got to the end and I know I kind of made a dent, and I was like, well, how much time do I have left? Let me try to squeeze something out. But it wasn't tough. I mean, I've done live calls before on online, on social media stuff. Coach student got my team calling out, so it wasn't tough, but it was really exciting, man. I had some nerves just because it's like it's a show. So it's like before the big game, before tip off, you got them butterflies. As soon as tip off happened, boom, we in the game, right? So I had that going on because I was like, man, what if I don't get nobody who want to do nothing? Right? So
that's always the fear, right?
That's always the fear. But also, what I realized is that what we're doing with the Closers Olympics is boxing. It's not. You don't have to lay nobody down all the time. If you can get points and everything else, and you don't get anything signed, you'll be at least in the mix. Unless somebody gets something signed.
That's true. I will say, so your situation is a little bit unique. So you're going to go on day one on Friday. There's 6 of you that qualified. 3 of you get to move on. So I agree with you on day one where you don't have to get necessarily something locked up, but you got to put in a quality performance.
Quality.
Right? And as long as you do that, you should be able to move on. Now, come Saturday.
Oh, I gotta lay something down.
There's 12 of us, and only 3 are moving on.
Yeah.
Now, I'll be honest with you. In 2021, when I won, bro, I had a fucking smoking round.
Yeah, it was crazy.
And next thing I know, they got Max Jimenez beating me by a point. And I was like, how did that happen? CJ literally texted me and said, bro, I'm so sorry. Like, I kind of forgot what I gave you because it was like 3 hours ago. And he's like, so now Max is beating you. And then I'm watching Steven Morales about to lock something up. And I'm like, damn, bro, I could get bounced. And everyone was saying it was the best round they had ever seen.
Yeah. So, you know what, though? You're right. Because depending on the timing, like if you went first and then you got to wait all day. I
went second in the day, bro.
Yeah, they might forget. Yeah, so you're right.
I mean, it was you go second and you lay one down. Well, they're like, well, we don't want to give the guy, there's human element to it where it's like, we don't want to give the guy a perfect score. So they gave a good score. But it was like, we're going to leave it open for somebody better. Then think about it. You have a couple of 3-4 rounds that are super boring. Nothing happens. Then that 5th round, somebody hits something. It's like, exciting. Oh, you're the greatest. Boom,
They forgot all about you.
To watch 12 callers. I mean, that's 6 hours of just calling. Plus, you got the show element. And you're talking about you're sitting on your ass for 8 hours.
It's all day. And really, not even 8 because, they be going over. It really be like a 12-hour day. It's
like 9-10 hours.
10-hour day, yeah.
So there's that element on Saturday. And then on Sunday, you're good. Yeah. I mean, Sunday, I had no nerves because I'm like, an hour, I can get off the phone with a bad seller in an hour. 30 minutes. A bad seller can fuck you up.
Yeah, real bad.
So that's the challenge for us is Saturday. Can we lay something down in 30 minutes?
It's really going to be because I know on Saturday we going up against the big dogs. Like Saturday is a lay down requirement. Yeah. Like if you don't lay something down, you're probably not moving on. And if you don't, your chances of moving on, or you might as well just say, all right, I'm out this one. Because somebody's going to get something.
Oh, yeah. For sure. Especially with inbound leads. Like
especially
previous years, we've done cold call leads.
Yeah.
Well, the first year we did the people watching
send the leads in. Yeah.
Now that was interesting. I had people calling me where they were like, "You were on the phone with my lead." I'm like, "Oh, did you lock it up?" And I'm like, "Bro, I'm not gonna lie. Like, it was a bit intense. I don't even know what the seller's number was."
Yeah, I'm just trying to score points here. Okay.
I don't even know, bro. So yeah, it's pretty crazy. Now let me ask you: Are you going to change anything that you do because of the Closers Olympics?
As far as in the Olympics or leading up to it?
Yeah, in the Olympics.
In the Olympics,
change how you talk to the seller or do anything like that.
I got I'm not gonna change my approach for how I talk to them, because this is like I talk to sellers the same way I talk to people in the barbershop, how I talk to people when I was selling t-shirts, selling white tail, whatever it is. Like I talk to people like they're my auntie or my uncle or my grandmother or my grandfather.
Right.
Period. Right. So I'm not gonna change that. What I am gonna do is I have like a kind of like a checklist right here, right? And these are like my options, my closing options. So I run through my reads, kind of like a quarterback. You just going through my reads. So I run through my reads, and my whole thing is on the Olympics, for the purposes of the Olympics, the first thing I'm trying to find out is how much you want, how quickly you want to do it.
Yep.
That's it. So if those answers don't sound right to me, I'm probably going to give you another 60 seconds of little whatever, and then we got to go.
Yep.
But the moment I get somebody who has a price and has a timeline and is ready to do it today, then I can go through my reads. Now, I mean, we got something from, you got a cash wholesale deal. You got a, of course, you could do your creative option with seller finance / subject to. You got your novation option. But then I've done these probably about, I've done about 7 or 8 of these joint ventures with the seller. So those actually are great, because if I have a seller where I'm able to offer them a joint venture, we can come in and just put the money up for the rehab and just split it 50-50 after the fact. A lot of sellers like it, especially if it's a seller that I get a good vibe from.
Right.
And normally those are the ones I do it with. Like, we get a good vibe, we're cool, and they normally like it because I can get them an extra, 20, 30, 40,000, whatever on the back end. So
the only problem with that is, bro, you never know where the lead's gonna be. So it's like,
so it got to be.
You end up with a seller like that in freaking New Hampshire.
It's
do no joint venture.
I'm not doing joint venture with them. Like, that's not. So it really got to be in a place where there's activity and that it's going to be easy for me to get crews out there. That's the.
And here's the thing, dude.
Mm-hmm.
For us as contestants, this is something that we have to overcome, because they're judging us based off of, well, what's your creativity with this?
Yeah.
And are you able to close? And so the competitive side comes out in us, and we're like, all right, I got to do it.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? I got to make it happen somehow, some way, right? And even in that, I'm like, if I can just get a worst case, agree to an agent referral. All right, great. Move on to the next call. Like, you just got to get something going at it. You got to squeeze the juice out of everything that you can get when you're in the Olympics in a quick time.
First call in 2021, I tried to get the guy to sell his house to me, seller finance, and I tried to get him to come to the Crucible. I tried to sell him freaking.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah, you tried to sell him on the coaching too. Yeah. I remember that. I
was like, hey, they said closing.
Exactly.
Not buying real estate, just close them on something, baby.
Exactly. And he was close too, because he sounded like he was coming. Yeah,
he was close. He was.
Yeah, man.
So let me ask, on the Olympic side of things.
Mm.
Well, let's go to the qualifier. How bad did you want to win that?
Bad, very. Yeah. Probably the baddest. Honestly, I think nobody on there wanted it more than me. In a real way. In a real way.
Let me tell you, bro, I have correctly predicted the winner of every qualifying round except for the last one. I thought Tyson Smith was going to win.
Yeah.
But he's my boy. I mean, he's my one-on-one student. I mean,
yeah. You got to roll there. You got to roll there. Yeah. It really didn't matter who you thought was going to win. You got to roll that way.
Yeah, I mean, and the other thing about it is he went first, and he
didn't really get a lot of pickups either. He didn't really get a lot of pickups.
Some kind of crappy leads. I mean, I'm not going to blame the leads.
Yeah. I mean, but they weren't. You know what? The leads weren't crappy in general before the qualifiers. They weren't really,
I would say this. I didn't think he had an opportunity to close, and he messed up. Let's put it that way.
Yeah,
he had.
You could tell he had skills. You could tell he had skills. His cadence was crazy. You could tell he got skills, most definitely.
But I told Cassie before. I said, "Hey, Kendall's gonna win." She said, "You think so?" And I said, "Yeah." I talked to them all before, and I said, "I can just tell." I mean, but listen, man, my radar on closing is always on point.
Yeah.
And I said the first one, I said, listen, I love them all because Colleen, she's my girl. Seamus, I mean, I've hung out with Seamus multiple times. But I said, Scotty, I mean, he's the truth, bro.
Scotty is different.
Dude,
Scotty is different. Deal. He really is.
You're like, I've said it before. When they asked me who I thought was my biggest competition this year, Scotty wasn't even a part of the cut. This is before any qualifying runs. I said Scotty, and they said, "Who's Scotty?" And I was like, "Oh, he's coming."
Man, listen, when we was watching round one of the qualifiers, me and my wife, because me and my wife sitting there, we watching it, right? So I'm scoping out. I'm trying to see what's going on. I'm already assuming the close. I'm going to be in here.
Right.
Let me see what the comp is going to look like. Man, I'm watching Scotty. As soon as it was over, I said, he's going to be a problem.
Yeah.
He's going to be a problem. Most definitely.
And realistically, and I'm not saying this just because you're on here. Mm-hmm. I'm honest with people. I interviewed Toddy last week. I've never seen her close before.
Yeah.
I was impressed by her on the podcast. But what she told me led me to believe that she's a really good closer in real life, but she's going to need the right type of lead to win in the Closers Olympics. Okay. Mm-hmm. That's my assessment of her for the competition. I think going into it, you have to respect Max Jimenez and Munif for what they did in 2021 by making it to the finals. I think Munif is great, but I also think he lacks that killer instinct at times.
Yep.
And that might come back to bite him this go around, because I know what it's like the second time around.
And also, nobody knew you before, so now they know you now.
Right now, so there's this expectation that Munif is supposed to win. Mm-hmm. You know, I really think, bro, I would not be surprised if the finals are me, you, and Scotty. That is my. I am predicting that you guys come out of the. You had to qualify.
Mm-hmm.
You win the qualifying round on Friday, and you guys make it. I really would not be surprised if that was the case, because I was very impressed by you on your qualifying run, man. If you guys haven't seen that, the video is on my YouTube channel. You can go back and watch it. But bro, what you went third on that, right?
Yeah, I went third. Yeah.
So you could kind of fast forward to his segment on it. And man, you had a really good. You didn't get anything locked up, right?
I locked it up after the fact. We locked it up after the fact, but we had two super strong verbals.
Yeah.
One of them we ended up locking up. Yeah. After the fact.
And that's what I was impressed with, is that you managed your time well. You could just tell when someone is like a real life closer.
Mm-hmm.
I joked last week, Eric Brewer on Pardon the Disruption said one of their KPIs that they track for closing is quality conversations that last for 10 minutes or longer. I said,
mm-hmm.
you track that? Why?
Yeah.
I said, bro, 10 minutes. I'm like, on some of these inbound leads, it's, hey, I see you have a highly distressed property you're looking to sell. How much are you looking to get for that? $10,000. From that point on, what am I going to talk about for the other 9 minutes and 40 seconds? Like, it's either a deal or it's not.
And you know, my approach is very similar to yours in the sense of I'm trying to get to who want to do business the fastest. Right. Like, I don't really want to. Rapport is overrated to me personally. I think, and rapport to me is like, we just on the phone kicking the shits like that. I'm like, and I don't really need to kick the shits with you. Like,
that's why I enjoyed your round, because there was laughter, there was rapport, but it was all based around you buying their house.
Everything.
And it was like, it wasn't this like you went off on this rabbit trail and then tried to come back to buying their real estate. It was all about, hey, we're talking about this, this, and this. And when you found an opportunity to kind of make it a little bit softer and let them get to know that you're a human being, you let that happen.
Yep.
Then it went right back to, okay, so are we going to be able to get this deal done?
Exactly.
I remember that you were like, hey, so I'm agreeing to that number. Can you agree to that right now?
Exactly.
He wouldn't sign it. You pushed hard to get him to sign it.
Yeah, he was in the parking lot trying to leave his job. I'm like, we can do it in the car if you want to. Like, you know,
bro, I gotta go. Like, I'm the man in charge. I gotta close this gate and lock it. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
So that was good stuff. All right, so in the Closers Olympics, what's your prediction? What's gonna happen? Who makes the finals?
Man, so for the Closers Olympics, I think so in the qualifying round, I definitely think me, Scotty is gonna make it out the qualifiers, and then also I know they brought they doing on this 6th round, they're bringing back Jen and Liam. Liam's gonna be in the 6th round. That's crazy. Right. Who else is in the 6th round?
Some guy named the Novation King.
Novation. Okay, yeah, I saw him too in the previous round.
Steve Trang's head acquisition guy is trying out as well.
Okay, so he's going to be in there as well?
Yeah.
Okay, so from what I see, I think me, Scotty would be in there. And then, honestly, I can't really call the third person coming out the qualifiers, but if I had to bet it, I would say that it would probably most likely be – I like Jen, but Jen, she's real heavy on rapport. And sometimes she don't go for the – like a lot of people on the calls treat the Olympics like you're in your office doing cold calling. They're going through well, let me tell you how our business works. Right. Well, tell me about that. No, bro, you don't understand. We're on the clock, bro. Like, you cannot treat this like you're doing acquisitions on a regular day.
You better hope this is the one. If
you better hope it's the one. Like, right? So, and then focuses so much on rapport, you forget about the other points. You didn't offer nothing creative. You didn't do these things. So, honestly, right now, I think me and Scotty would go, and then for some reason, I'm feeling like Jen is a favorite, but I haven't seen the other ones yet, so I don't really know.
She's got to qualify.
She got qualified, yeah. I mean,
she's got to qualify. I'm judging that on Thursday. And she's got some heavy competition that she's got to go against.
Who is in round 3?
It was Ricky Morgan, right?
I like Ricky. I watch him on the Flip Lab.
Yeah.
Ricky is dope. I think Ricky will come out with me and Scotty because Ricky has the same thing. He's going to get straight to the point.
Yep.
He's going to figure out what's going on. And for me, I'm looking for people who understand that we don't have time for the extra stuff. We got to get right to it.
Don't forget, he also has the experience of doing the open run last year.
Yes, he did. He did the open run last year. I remember that. And he closes live all the time.
Yep.
And I
agree. I like those 3 coming out. So okay.
I like that. So we move to the next day, the 12 round. So we got who we got on the 12? We got you, Elijah, Max, Keith is my dog, Munif. Who else we got on there? Let me look at the flyer. Toddy? Who's that? Oh, Toddy Virtual, the girl. Okay, I've never seen her close, but her skills, she's dope as far as like her business and like the game she be giving out.
I've never seen her close, so I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure. She doesn't
do a whole lot of closing now anymore. So
that's the other thing too. Like, if you don't close now, that's cool, but you might want to get a little 30 to 60 day run up and tap in. So I think you got who else is going to be on there? Monique, Toddy, Tony Romero. I saw him. He was on 2021. I remember him.
Yeah.
Keith Elijah, Arthur Sanchez. Don't he work with Carlos?
I don't know. I think he's just a student of his.
I think he a student of Los. I think I met him at Momentum a few years back. I never heard him close.
Like he's like super high level.
He is. He's CEO level. Because even then, when I met him at Momentum, they was already doing a couple $100,000 a month, like having a whole team. He wasn't really on the phones. And then I seen Naaman. So honestly, when we talk about the 3 coming out of, because it's 3 that come out of on Saturday, right?
3. That's it.
All right. So for sure, you coming out. I'm going to always say I'm coming out. And then the third person, it's to me, it's either Max or Scotty.
Yep.
It gotta be.
I'm saying, bro.
It gotta be one of the 2 because I'm thinking. I'm not thinking about regular closing. I'm thinking about Olympics closing.
Right. And here's the thing: is who does the live closings? Who's gonna be able to ignore the noise? Like, bro, I do so many lives. The comments and the distractions and the judges and all that. I'm used to that already. So that doesn't bother me at all. And I know Max does a lot.
Yeah.
You brought up a good point with Ricky, but he's got to make it into it.
Yeah.
And bro, to be honest with you, the amount of luck that you guys have to have on your side to have a good lead in your qualifier, have a good lead on Friday, have a good lead on Saturday, because each one of those is 30-minute segments.
Yes.
Like, bro, it's kind of winning the lottery if you guys make it. I mean, for me, I just gotta have one. Give me one lead on
just
Saturday,
one lead. Just it.
then I'm in the finals, and then I'm like, bro, an hour, I will burn these phones down.
Yeah, I'm going crazy.
Get something signed.
Yeah, in 1 hour, I'm going crazy. We literally just was on IG Live and closed something, contract to close, crazy. This is the first call. So, one call closes happen not all the time, but they happen a lot though, right?
Bro, you can listen on Closures Olympics. I'm telling you right now, if I get someone that wants to sign, we are signing.
And let me tell you what I am doing. I took from you last time. So I think you had Cassie over there doing TC contracts. Right. Oh, I'm gonna have my TC right next to me, waiting. Right. Handle that. Let's get that out. Get them on the phone. Like, that's definitely something I'm doing this time for sure. Man. Yeah.
So, for the people that are watching, they want to learn more about you. You said IG. That's the best place for them to follow you.
Yeah. Just follow me on Instagram at Kendall Ficklin, the number 2, not the wrong, the number 2. So my name right there. Yep. And you can follow me on there, man. I drop stuff on there when I do, but I do live calls. I've been doing those twice a week lately for like the past few weeks, but you can catch me on there. You can always send me a message there. I'm going to reach out. And then I also teach how to wholesale the hedge funds. I've been doing that for a long time. So when the hedge funds stopped buying, it was crazy because we work with about 15 hedge funds, right? So out of the 15, like 11 stopped buying. So it was kind of crazy, but there was a lot of the things, a lot of people were like scared. They were like, man, hedge funds not buying. I'm like, it's not that hedge funds really stopped buying. They paused for a second. Some of them haven't came back, but what hedge funds did was hedge funds shifted the way they buy to pre-2022, 2021. They went back to the regular formula. And if you have a relationship and you understand the formula and how they do business, they're going to tell you what they need and what they're looking for. And they're going to tell you when they come back on. And out of the few that were still active, we still sold deals to them. So I teach people how to work with them specifically because they don't want to deal with newbies. There's a language you have to know to talk to them. If they mention, we're going to buy these houses, and put them in a tape and then sell it, and you don't know what a tape is, they're not going to want to talk to you.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I show people how to do that and just, teach people on wholesaling. But honestly, I'm more of people had to force me to coach. I'm really for real. I'm more of let's just get active and just do the business. Right. But if you want help, but if you want help, I'm always willing to help people out.
Love it, man. Well, best of luck in the Closures Olympics. I do hope you make it to Friday and get in the big show there. I think you deserve it. I think the people deserve to see your skill set and what you bring to the table. So I'm rooting for you on that day. I'll root for you on Saturday too. But I'm telling you right now, son, you make it on Sunday, that ass whooping you're going to get is going to be unlike any you've ever gotten before, right?
Oh, man. Now, hey, look, Friday, Saturday, same for me. Sunday, though, I'm not really sure if I'm going to know you. I don't know nothing about nothing. All I know is I know me, and all I know is these phones. I don't know nothing else on Sunday.
I'm just saying, I'm making it to Sunday. Fact. Whatever happens on Sunday, I just want something better than what happened in 2021.
Exactly.
Max and Munif, they did good. They didn't put a whole lot of pressure on me.
Nah.
I kind of rolled into it going, bro.
After the first 20 minutes, I think of yours, it was pretty much a known fact. Arjun's gonna get the win.
They cut me off after 40.
Yeah, because you was like, do I even have to keep going? At this point,
it was I called one more seller.
Yeah,
and they were like, no, I don't want to sell my house, and I hung up, and I was like, are we gonna end on a bad note, or can we just call it. Like it's
exactly
over, right?
It's pretty much
so
over.
funny, bro. Jen Coronado, she's 2 episodes ago. She's Elijah's fiance. And
yeah, I love Jen. Yeah,
she's basically the one that runs the Closers Olympics.
Yeah,
she was so funny, bro. She was in the private chat over here going, "Stop it! We don't want to announce RJRA one." And they're like, "He got a signed contract, Jen. It's over. Everybody
it's over with. It's over with." And I love everything about it, man. The commentary, like the people, even the fan, like the people. But I've watched every round. I've watched every minute of every Closers Olympics, and it's like now that I'm in it, it's dope. I'm gonna still be watching everybody else, but it's an event for me. Like I don't do nothing during those 3 days. Don't bother me from these time to this time. I'm locked in. I got my popcorn. I got my drinks right here. I got my food, whatever I'm having. And we doing Closers Olympics, baby. So
my favorite thing to do is I watch every moment of the Closers Olympics too, is to hear the judges go, "Did you hear him say that?" And then come on 45 minutes later and use the exact same damn line.
Yep. Same thing.
Look right at that judge and be like,
"You see me? Yeah. Got him."
Right, because hey, it's a game.
It is.
But this is a sport, man, where you can learn. And everybody in there, listen, I say it, the tickets are $297, and you get every single moment of every Closers Olympics. 2020, 2021, every moment's going to happen in 2023. If you don't have $297, it's $97 just for the 2023 version. Listen,
man, if I can keep it real, even on the qualifiers, Seamus had a line about a virtual funding number.
Yep.
That line has made me $42K.
There you go.
That one line. And people say, "Well, how do you know it's the line?" Because when I told them, take out a pen and paper, write this number down, and I gave them the virtual funding number, they was like, "Well, what is this?" I'm saying, "This just shows you that the money's locked in. Like it just lets you know that we have this dedicated to you. I'm going to put it on your purchase agreement, etc." To me, that was the difference between them signing that night or saying, "Let me think about it."
Yep.
Right. So, I mean, that's just one line. We can go on for days how much value we get from it. Right. But
I'll never forget the moment Steve Train in 2020 did the cliffhanger voicemail. Bro.
Crazy.
That was unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
And to really have the cojones to do it during the close meeting, I was like, "Damn, bro, he's bringing it."
Exactly.
That's what I love about the competition, man. It is a competition, and we all do want to win, but it's also for education for people, and that's what I've always thought. You guys, I came on there and I told you guys, I said, "Hey, respect what it is that we do as an industry, and the fact that you said I want to represent this industry by saying I'm one of the best closers." And that's what I love about it, because you went out and you did it. And I also just want to thank you because you listened to my advice that I gave you.
I think, bro, honestly, I'm the only one who listened.
Thank you.
I'm the only, because I knew it, because I listened to everything you said, and I said, I'm going to do that shit because he know what he's talking about.
You were the only one, bro.
I'm the only one who listened.
I immediately text Cassie afterwards and said, Kendall was the only one that listened to me, and oh, shocking, he won. And I said the same thing about Scotty.
Yep.
In round one. Bro, on round one, I had individual calls with each one of them. And I literally said, "Hey, don't try to do some crazy novation offer, because you're not going to get a novation signed
in 30 minutes. Yeah.
Especially if they're like, and Colleen, bless her heart, I love her. She went for it. And everyone in the chat was like, "What are you doing? What are you doing?
Don't do it."
And she just went. And then it just, the clock went, and she dwindled away. And they came in, they said, that was tough. And I'm like, no shit.
It's not, if you're going to pitch an ovation, for me, it's literally the last of my reads, and it's only for the verbal because I know I'm not getting it signed.
Right.
That's it.
Here's the thing. The only way I'm going for it, I'm just going to tell you right now, is if the seller is like knowledgeable and says, well, would you be open to doing an ovation?
Like, for sure.
It's like, might as well just sign up to lose.
Exactly. And one thing I want to tell everybody, man, if you are in a tough space right now in your real estate business, if you're feeling down and out, if shit just ain't going right for you, come to the Olympics. It's going to fill your cup all the way up. You are going to be charged up and ready to get to it. I promise you. Because at 2020 Olympics, I don't know what was going on, but I wasn't feeling what was going on in business. And after I watched that, I was ready to go up, man. It was great.
Going on. The world was.
Oh, the shit was fucked up. Yeah, we know what's going. Yeah, like world was ending.
Bro, we were in. That was May or June of 2020, so we were like 3 or 4 months into COVID.
Yeah, it was crazy, bro.
Yeah, and the world was at a very weird spot when we did that. And man, you amongst thousands of other people watched that. I don't know if you know this or not. I've told this before, but 2021 Closers Olympics, there were, that I know of, 2 watch parties, one in Israel with about 40 to 50 people, and one in the Philippines with another 40 to 50 people, VAs, that were watching us. And in Israel, it was real estate investors that want to wholesale in the United States. And I got to go do a podcast after I won with that group. And to hear, bro, the impact that we made on them, to show them I can do this. Because to them, their feedback to me was, I can do what RJ just did. I can generate leads and get on the phone with them and have a simple, down-to-earth conversation, because what they thought is they had to do all this negotiating. Mm-hmm. They had to do all these mental manipulation, mind games.
Man, people make it sound so much more difficult than it is.
When they just realize, hey, all I need to do is find someone that needs to sell their house for whatever reason and then help solve their problem by buying their real estate. It's amazing, man. And you're a part of that this year. So like I told you before, embrace the moment, man. I'm looking forward to doing it for a third time. It's one of the best things I've ever done. So I'm excited about it, bro.
I love it, man. And thank you again for bringing me on, man. I much respect for you, man, and what you guys are doing. You and Cassie, everybody else that's involved, just all of y'all who paved the way for us in the game. Like, we love y'all. We respect y'all. I don't care if nobody else say it. I'm going to say it. It's a fact. Much love to you guys, and I appreciate you for sure.
Appreciate you, man. Good luck. Good luck in a couple of weeks, and we'll talk to you then, okay?
Yes, sir. I'll see you at the top.